Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is the 29th day of June, and I hope you are awake and rolling and through your morning routine and ready to freaking knock this Wednesday out. So, there's a lot of consternation on the Exit Realty agent text group. So, where y'all at? Good morning, Facebook user. Y'all know the drill. This is the same thing we do every single morning. If you're up with me, good morning, Carrie. Give us a comment that you're on here. Just let us know that you're here. I have not heard from Christy, so I don't know if she'll be here or not. I know yesterday was a really taxing day for her, so she may be resting well this morning in Eatonton by herself. It's funny, so she blamed me for staying in the bed because she said when I'm in the bed with her that they said we stay in the bed longer in the morning, but now I think that's just maybe just her, but I don't know. But I haven't talked to her, so we'll see if she shows up. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Facebook user. If you could identify yourself, let us know who you are. That would be fantastical because they can't see it. But I'm going to pull this thing up, and we're going to get rolling this morning. I hope everybody's looking forward to a fantastic day. Anna, that's you. Why is that showing your name? Why your name's not showing up? It's weird. Starting my coffee, man. I got it this morning exhausted, so I don't know what the deal was. I took the boys took Jagger and a friend of his, one of his hockey buddies, and Cade to the Sounds game last night. Nashville's got a AAA ball team. It's not as nice as the Braves for some of you who are spoiled going to Major League Baseball games all the time. It's AAA, but the ballpark is fantastic. It's so much fun. And last night was, I guess, pups at the park. They had the dogs there. The weather was gorgeous. Sky was gorgeous. It was a lot of fun. We had a really, really good time. We need to. Jagger's on me to go to a Braves game. I guess we went to opening night for the Braves this year, and I sent Jagger a FaceTime video from the Truist, and he was not happy about that. So every day he wakes up and looks at the schedule. He try to find days where he's with me and going to be in Georgia, so he can go to a Braves game. So, how was your Tuesday? Was Tuesday good? Was yesterday good? Do you look back on yesterday with did you not like yesterday, or did you like yesterday? How did you do? Did you meet your goals? Did you do what you said you were going to set out to do? Did you do one thing? I know Carrie sent me a text message, and she said she went and did one thing she's been avoiding doing. Don't know. I don't know the whole story behind that, Carrie, but from what the message I saw from Christy, maybe there's something else too I didn't hear, but did you get up and go do the thing? Did you get up and go do the thing that needed to be done, even though you didn't really necessarily want to do it, but it had to be done? So the title for today was Wednesday. Why not? Why not? Why not start right now in this moment doing that thing? Carrie did the damn thing yesterday. She sure did. And which again, just your text message, Carrie, was so enlightening because if you look at the task in a negative way, if we look at something and think, oh my gosh, I got to go do this. Oh my gosh, I got to do that. Oh my gosh, I got to call these leads. Oh my gosh, I've got a lead right now on my phone from 3:54 this morning. That it's a new pilot thing that Christy and I are trying, and I had a lead come in at 3:54 this morning. I'm actually excited about calling him. I've looked at it and said I'm excited about calling him. I'm gonna call him as soon as 8:30 comes around. I'm gonna give him a shout. I'm excited about calling him. But a lot of us sit back and look at. I don't want to write the card. I don't want to go to the office. I don't want to make the phone call. I don't want to reach out and try to build this dirty dozen. I don't want to. And even if it's a little don't want to, even if I'm just not motivated to do it, even if it's just a little piece of don't want to, that grows. That don't want to becomes huge. And then that monster is really only that. It's the Wizard of Oz analogy. It's the man behind the curtain. It's a little dude on a microphone, But the great and powerful Oz is how he's perceived. And the great and powerful Oz has these powers, these magic powers, these superpowers. They're all a rumor. It's all based on conjecture. It's all based on the sound of his voice. But in reality, it's a little frail old man behind a microphone, behind a curtain. So a lot of times in these moments where we start to not want to go do the thing really is a little dude behind the curtain. The thing really is the little guy, the little frail old man behind the curtain on a microphone, being loud. But our perception, if we let that continue to fester and let that continue to grow, it becomes the great and powerful Oz. And it becomes this thing that's so intimidating that we're never going to do it. That's why embracing the suck is so important. I'm going to get this book. I started reading it last night. I got through the foreword, but I was so tired. I'll walk away. Sorry, y'all. So y'all know how I love some Navy SEAL stuff, right? Did I lose some sound? Hang on. All right, so I'm back. So y'all know how I love some Navy SEAL stuff, and how I'm a sucker for Navy SEAL mindset. I really, really am. Good morning, Miss Lynn. But I was reading the introduction. The introduction is written by a guy named David Goggins. Y'all probably heard of David Goggins. David Goggins was a Navy SEAL. David Goggins is if you've seen him, he's a bald-headed, light-skinned black fella who's was a Navy SEAL. He went to Ranger School. He was in the Air Force, but he's an ultra marathoner. So he runs like 75-mile marathons. He's an ultra triathlete. So he does the super, super long distance stuff, like the things that make you question your sanity. That's what he does. Hang on. And so let me go back. So I don't know where I lost you. David Goggins, he's really foul mouth. So if you don't like people using F-bombs every 15 or 20 seconds, he's probably not the dude that you want to go listen to, because that's the word he uses for everything. If he's talking about milk, if he's talking about pretty birds, if he's talking about fish, if he's talking about something that hurts, if he's talking about church, if he's talking about whatever, he's going to F-bomb to use it. That's his descriptor. But the point of me mentioning him is I read through the foreword, and as I was reading through the foreword, I got y'all. This book is going to be so fantastic. And if y'all didn't see this yesterday, I bought this. It was actually the guy reading the foreword. Brent Gleason actually wrote this book after the pandemic, so this is a relatively new book that he wrote. And in this foreword, the part that I'm going to mention to you in this foreword, and Brent, so you're familiar with Navy SEAL training, and maybe you're not, but it's a long training. I mean, they're constantly training, they're constantly learning, they're constantly going through their craft. But to get through basic underwater demolition school, which is, they call it BUDS, to get through that, they put these guys through Hell Week. So basically, Hell Week is 5 days of no sleep. It's 5 days where you might get 4, 5, 6 hours sleep, but you're constantly running, shooting. You're in the ocean. They're literally trying to kill these guys in these 5 days, but they're not trying to physically kill them. They're trying to mentally kill them. They're trying to break their mental spirit. They're trying to break their grit. They're trying to break. Good morning, Millie. They're trying to break them. And the reason why is they want to break them in training so they don't break in combat. Because in training, even though it's bad, even though it's rough, it's very controlled. They have medics, they have first aid, they have things around them to protect them from physically being broken, i.e. dying. They don't mind if you break an ankle or a leg or something, but they don't want you to die. In combat, they don't have that same thing. So they try to break them in training so they don't break in combat, which is a fantastic idea. So apparently the guys who are SEALs who have wore in the Trident, who go into SEAL training, who are Navy SEAls, and they go out on operations. Well, these guys mentor these young fellas coming through BUD/S, and they help them train. They help them run. They put them through physical torture and all the stuff they're gonna experience in BUD/S, and they put them through that. So Carrie, I don't know if y'all saw that comment. Carrie says the Falcons brought in a group of former Navy SEAls to do Hell Week for the team. The front office staff did it with him for a couple of hours, and it was awful. Yeah. So I have an ex-brother-in-law who's a SEAL, and he started a company doing that. But Carrie said it was awful. When we graduated, we got bracelets with the Falcons logo, and it said "Embrace the Suck." I'm telling y'all, I know sometimes I wonder if I say it so much that it kind of becomes, you don't really pay attention to the words "embrace the suck." But I want to share this with you because it's super, super important. So the guys who are SEALs, they mentor guys who want to be SEALs, and they mentor them. They help them train. They help them prepare. They help them mentally prepare. They help them run. They help them do all these things, right? So that they can prepare for what's coming when they go to BUD/S training. David Goggins wrote one of Brent Gleason had a mentee that he was trying to get ready for BUD/S training. And he asked David Goggins, he goes, "Hey, I got this dude who's about to go to BUD/S. Will you write him a little motivational letter? Write him a little letter to give him some motivation so that you know, kind of his last send off before he goes to BUD/S, so that he makes it through." So it was I'm not going to read the whole letter to you, but I'll read this. I'm going to read this last. I'm going to read and again, y'all. My wife would frown on what I'm about to say, and I'm going to make this as R-rated as I can make it. I'm going to read this last little bit, and I want you to think about this little paragraph I'm about to read you in the context of real estate, in the context of your personal life, in the context of you reaching your goals or not reaching your goals, you being successful or not being successful. I want you to think about put you in your life and your things in your life in this context. So this is the last paragraph. Here in the whole paragraph, here's the last little bit of the letter to this mentee that's about to go to BUD/S. He says, "So what the F are you going to do when your testicles are in your stomach from the cold? What are you going to do when your body is broke as F and you have 50 hours left? What are you going to do when your boat crew starts to quit and you feel alone? What are you going to do when it won't stop raining and you can't get warm? I don't know what you're going to do, but you asked me for my advice, so here's what the F I did. I prayed to God to make it worse. Mindset, go to war with yourself." Here's what I did. I prayed to God to make it worse. Mindset, go to war with yourself. Every single time we talk, and every single time, y'all, this book, I cannot wait to start reading this book. Every time we talk, every time we have a meeting, every time we get together as a group, almost every time I'd say, I talk about this little dude and this little dude. And all of you who are probably older than 40, which there's some of you on here, you guys remember the cartoons that we used to watch all the time where it had the little dude and the little dude. And this one was in a little leather jacket with his hair slicked back, smoking a cigarette. And this one was was like an angel with wings and a harp. And this one's telling them all the good things to do. And this one's telling them all the bad things to do. You realize you have a war going on in yourself. Paul talks about it in the Bible. We have a war going on in ourselves, the flesh and the spirit, the good, the bad, the yin, the yang, whatever you want to say. All of those, the white wolf and the black wolf, all those things, these two things work together to help you get to where you are. So here's what I'm going to say to you. Based on that little paragraph, what are you going to do? when you can't get? What are you going to do when you can't get anybody on the phone? What are you going to do when you and your spouse aren't getting along? What are you going to do when there aren't any deals in the pipeline? What are you going to do when everything feels like it's going wrong? What are you going to do? And if David Goggins was sitting in this chair, he would say, I'm going to tell you what the F you're going to do. You're going to pray that it gets worse, because nothing can break you and nothing can make you quit and nothing can make you stop. You go to war with yourself. You beat that little dude down. You beat that voice down and you keep fighting. You beat that voice down and you keep walking. You beat that voice down and you keep dialing on the phone. You beat that voice down and you continue to build your dirty dozen. You beat that voice down and keep going. Because if you could ever get to the point where you truly embrace the suck, if you could ever truly get to the place where you as an individual don't mind it being hard, you actually relish in it being hard, you want it to be hard because you understand at the end of hard is the breakthrough. Because you understand at the end of difficulty is light. You understand at the end of challenge is success. If you can ever get to that place where you truly embrace the suck, that's why the Navy SEALs do that. You realize that, right? When they put them through Hell Week and these guys sit back and they're done and they stick that thing in their chest, that trident in their chest that represents a warrior clan that very few people can get through. They reflect back on what they've been through. They look back and see what they've accomplished. And they've done something physically that not many people can do. And when they look back and see it, and they look in the mirror and see this, they realize there is nothing can stop me. I'm not scared of bullets. I'm not scared of bombs. I'm not scared of anything. I can accomplish and do anything I set my mind to. That is embracing the suck. When you can look at challenges, understand, guys, it's going to be hard. Everything and anything worth its weight in gold, worth its weight in salt, anything that's worth it is going to be hard. I promise you. And I'm just going to tell you, for me in my life, there's been times when I've been super, super hard, and I have been super, super determined and super, super dedicated to getting to the end. And there have been times when I haven't been. And in those times when I haven't been, when I've quit before I should have quit, when I've done things and got out of stuff before I maybe should have seen it through, it caused me issues and it caused me challenges. And at 50 years old, I look back and there are places, right, where maybe if I'd have zigged instead of zagged, if I'd have turned left instead of right, and if I would have decided to do this instead of that, maybe my life looks different. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. And all of those things were the results of, and I'm still fighting, and I'm still digging, and I'm still pushing. Well, I am. And that's true. That is true. I am still digging. I am still pushing, and I am still clawing. I'm still fighting. And that's what I need you to do. That's why I need you guys to embrace the suck. This is the part of what we do at Exit Realty Lake Country that's so different. You're not going to hear this at Cry Like. You're not going to hear this at Remax or Coldwell Banker. You're going to sit in a meeting or be on a phone call with a broker at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, telling you to embrace the suck, telling you to go to war with yourself, telling you to keep digging. You're not going to hear that. You're going to hear that here. We have to have a battle plan. Glenn Grizzle, she said, we studied that last night. We have to have a battle plan. What is but here's the thing about a battle plan. And I'll go back to this. I've read so many Navy SEAL books and Murphy's Law. You've heard of Murphy's Law? If something can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And I'm telling you, the battle plan, the plan really is just as good. Well, you have to have a plan. But Lynn, I'll tell you this, if you read a lot of stories about battles, most of those plans go completely awry. They absolutely go out the window. And so then that's when you rely on your training. That's when you rely on who you are as a person. That's when you rely on the strength that you have built behind the scenes. That's when you rely. I'll give you, for instance, y'all remember to stay in the Navy SEAL, on the Navy SEAL train right now. You guys remember when they shot Osama bin Laden, right? And they flew the helicopter. They had planned this battle forever. They had the intelligence on his house. They knew the rooms in the house. They had built a mock-up, so they were running through the rooms, and they're knowing how to get through the house and where he's possibly going to be. So they have all their movements down and who's going to set the charge and who's going to turn the lights on, who's going to jump on whose back. I mean, they've gone through all these things, right? They've gone through the insertion of the helicopters, how they're going to get out when they get done, how they're going to fast rope down. Going in, middle of the night, one of the helicopters wrecks. One of the helicopters crashes. So now, as they're going in, one of the helicopters crashes. Now, what do you think happens to the plan if in the very beginning, one of the ways you're getting out crashes? What do you think happens to the plan when one of the ways you're getting out is not available anymore? What do you think happens to the plan? Okay. So yes, have a plan. Yes, have your goals. Yes, have all the things that. Yep. So Lynn, the plan constantly changes. And it's not the plan that changes, it's you that changes. You've got to, and here's where this is a fault of mine. When my C personality comes out and I want things done a certain way and I don't see them done a certain way, I can sometimes take my ball and go home. I will sometimes take my ball and go home. And that is one of my faults. It's a fault of mine. It just is what it is. But when when it doesn't go like I want it to go and it doesn't go as I've had it planned, I sometimes get upset. And that's just the truth. But Lynn's right. And the plan's the same. You've planned the plan. You've got the plan. The plan's going to evolve, but you got to be able to have contingencies. You got to be able to change on the fly. You got to be able to zig when it's time to zig and zag when it's time to zag. But again, all of that is a result of your training. What have you prepared yourself to do? So let me ask you this. There's 6 of you on this call. I don't know why there's not more of you, but there's only 6, but it's okay. Everybody else is just doing whatever. They'll watch it later. So let me ask you this question. How many of you are role playing with someone else? And not that kind of role playing, the role playing in real estate. How many of you are practicing with a swim buddy? That's what the SEALs call them. They call them swim buddies. They've always got a friend. They've always got somebody that they rely on, and that's their swim buddy. How many of you have a swim buddy that you're practicing with? That you're practicing your scripts. You are practicing your phone calls. You are practicing your door knocking. You are practicing your listing presentation. How many of you are practicing your buyer presentation behind the scenes, on the side, in the weight room, training and running? How many of you are practicing with your swim buddy? Because I would venture a guess, if you're like me, being in real estate since 2006, being in sales since 2005, most of us hate to role play. We hate to role play. Why? Why do we hate role playing? Why do we hate, if I called you up next Wednesday, I'm trying to think who I could call up. If I called up Alex Martin, I don't see Alex on here this morning, but if I called up Alex Martin to come in front of the room at the training in Madison on Wednesday, he said, hey, let's role play a listing presentation. I'm going to be the seller. You be the agent. She'd probably do it, but she'd have that little cute smile on her face, and she'd be very reluctant, and she'd look around a few times to it would be hard for her. But do you realize that if you got so good at your listing presentation on the practice field, do you realize the amount of confidence that you would have when you walk through the front door of a listing presentation? The reason Christy Dwyer is so freaking good at listing presentations or getting a listing with a lack of a presentation is because she is so confident. She is so confident in herself. She is so confident in her ability. She's so confident in what she does as a real estate agent that she can walk into the room and the confidence just jumps off of her. And she walks into a listing presentation with a napkin, with a paper towel, and says, "Hey, ma'am, can you hold this?" And the lady says, "Sure," and with nothing else. And then gets the listing presentation, and they say, "I don't want to pay you 6%." She goes, "Well, tough, because that's what you're paying." And they just say, "Okie doke," and that's how it rolls. But it's because she's looky there. But it's
Speaking
because
of the devil,
she's so supremely confident. But that confidence for Christy is a result of years and years and years of battle, years and years and years of listing presentations, years and years and years of successes. And that's what she has. So for those of you who don't have that, and Carrie, and I'm going to talk to you, Carrie, I think something for you right now is maybe a little bit of that confidence for you, and kind of shrinking back a little bit, because Carrie Leland is one of the most supremely confident people I've ever met in my life. Absolutely fantastically supremely confident. But when it comes to real estate, she's not quite as confident as she is in other things in her life. So, Carrie, I'm going to call you out this morning. I'm going to encourage you to find you a swim buddy. Find you somebody that you can role play with. Find you somebody that you can practice listening presentations with, phone calls with. Find someone that you can practice with so that you gain confidence in your real estate ability, because then that is going to help you be more determined, more focused to face those challenges and get out there and do your thing. I'm the same way. She says, "I don't like to do things I'm not the best at immediately." Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. All right, go ahead. Welcome, baby.
I honestly, I hesitated to get on here because I've had conversations with people the last couple of days who have said that you are literally just like killing it on these calls. And I'm like, dude, I wonder if I like kill the mojo when I'm on the calls.
You don't. You don't.
So I did hesitate. I did take the dogs out and make sure that I wanted to hop on here. I saw you were on, so but I did want to hop on here and at least I can't see everyone else's faces, but y'all can see me, and you can see that I haven't done much this morning. I think there's a pickleball game going on this morning. I have yet to decide if they moved it up a little bit. It's a little earlier.
You got to go to pickleball.
I probably will, because I mean, gosh, how could I miss that? How can I miss that?
You had so much fun doing that.
Oh, I did, and I'm actually looking forward to it. But I do want to say something. I want to say a couple of things. So a while ago, I went in here to put my to put a shirt on, because I had a sweatshirt on, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna sit in there, I'm gonna be on that call, and I'm gonna start sweating, and I'm gonna get hot. Can't do that. So I had to go put a thinner shirt on. Well, this shirt had, I don't know what it was when I took it off the hanger. And keep in mind, y'all, I can't see very well without my glasses on up close, especially not in the mornings. It's a thing that they told me was going to happen to me, but I didn't believe it, especially not after I had LASIK. But there were like little lint balls all over it. And I thought to myself, how in the world did this shirt get lint balls all over it? And I thought to myself, and so I walked in there, and because we've got a lint roller, when my children put things back where they're supposed to go, like where we have them, I can go in there and I can. How many times have you guys looked for a lint roller and couldn't find it? Like, you knew it's such a small little, seemingly non-impactful little tool that we have until you need one, right? And you don't think much about it, but having a lint roller around the house in various spots is like having a pair of glasses, readers around the house in various spots.
Having a hidden lint roller, like having a hidden pistol.
Having one within reach, or knowing exactly where it's at, so you can do, again, like, I think this pair of glasses cost me like $28 at some little boutique, and you can buy them a whole lot cheaper than that at the Dollar Tree. They don't look quite as good, but I've worn this one out till they're cracking. Anyways, so as I'm lint rolling my shirt, and y'all I may have missed some of it, but I don't think you can see much of it. As I'm lint rolling my shirt, I'm thinking to myself, lint. these little balls of lint that aggravate us. The ones on the back of my shirt aren't bothering me at all, and I'm certain, based on the amount that are on my sleeves and the front of my shirt, there are some on the back, okay? But they aren't bothering me a bit. They're there, but they're not stopping me from putting the shirt on and getting in front of you guys with this shirt on. But those little annoying lint balls that were on my shirt that I just rolled off with the lint roller so that I could come in here and feel a little more confident in getting in front of you guys. Not that y'all were even going to notice, but I knew they were there. Okay. So, and I'm
That's a
thinking
good
to
point.
myself,
That's a
and I'm
good.
thinking to
Y'all hear?
myself,
Did y'all hear that?
as
That's
I'm rolling this lint up, and it's nothing that's stopping me from putting this shirt on and walking out the front door. Okay. But I know that I'm not going to be as confident putting this shirt on and walking out the front door with all these little lint balls all over me. Okay. So I take this little lint roller and I roll it on me, and I get these little aggravating little things like little fur. I'm not even sure where they're from. I don't know if somebody had something in their pocket when it got washed. I'm not going to point fingers at anybody. I don't carry stuff in my pockets, but one of the male species that lives in my household likely had something in their pocket um, when this thing got washed, or it got put in there with the wrong stuff. Like maybe it got put in with a towel, and it was a towel that we put lint on stuff. Maybe we hadn't cleaned out the dryer vent as well as we should have, and I don't know what happened, but as I roll it out, and I think to myself, how many times every day do we have just these little annoying things that don't really bother anybody but us? But we know they're there, and they stop us from doing what we're supposed to be doing. And all we've got to do is take that. If the lint roller, if I can compare the lint roller to a morning routine, as Aaron's just talking about, to Carrie, going through reviewing something about a property, or going through and reviewing your listing presentation, or going through and doing your elevator speech, if that's what it is, before you go out. And then that gives you the confidence to do something that you might not have otherwise done today. Get out there and grab yourself a daggum lint roller. And by lint roller, whatever it is, if it's having that accountability partner, having that conversation, hopping on Coach Burt's Facebook page and listening to his Tuesday rhythm, doing something that's going to just put you, being on this call, going back and listening to the call, even if you're not on it first thing in the morning, going back and listening to it later in the day. If there's something that Aaron said this week that really moved you, go back and listen to that call again. Just something that honestly is so simple that nobody else might even notice except you. It's not going to change the entire trajectory of what would have seemingly been the trajectory of your day, but it could. And it could give you, and I had somebody call me last night, and an agent, and I don't know who I was on here. So, but she said, those calls in the morning are literally what gets us. Like, I don't think you and Aaron understand how impactful those calls are in the mornings. And they were calling about something else to let me know something. But and that meant a lot. That meant a lot to me and I know that. And yesterday morning, guys, I was on a podcast with a guy that we met at the Coach Burt event we went to down in Watercolor back in November. And the conversation I thought was going to be about it's so funny because the conversation that the guy that asked me to be on the podcast, who's his business partner, and then the conversation actually on the podcast were completely different. But what I thought it was going to be about, which is fine, because I told the guy I can talk about anything. That's not a big deal. But the conversation, the entire gist of their podcast it's called Never Broke Again. And I asked him, I said, what is it that you got? I mean, like, what's kind of the theme behind this? Because to be honest, I've not watched y'all's podcast before. I probably should have done that little bit of research before I actually got on it, but I didn't. And he said, we just talk to different people in business, and they share different things about their business that where they've overcome obstacles in their business and seen success. And so they ask them questions about their business, or have them talk about different things they've done in their business where they've realized success. And I thought, God, what a great idea behind a podcast. And one of the questions he asked me, and I told him, he asked me several different questions, but I told him, I said, if we had little targets for different aspects of real estate, and honestly, it could be in sales as well, little targets of different aspects in real estate. How many of y'all have been axe throwing? We should go axe throw. I think right now an axe throwing outing for our company, Aaron, if you'll write this down, or somebody, Carrie, write this down, would be a fantastic idea for our company, because I think a lot of you guys have some pent up frustration right now that a good old fashioned axe throwing outing would get out. I mean, in all seriousness, I don't know if Aaron can hear me because he sure is busy doing something. Do you realize you're on this call? Because it looks like you're working away.
Well, I wrote that thing down. You told me to write that thing down, so I wrote that thing down.
Oh, the axe. Okay. So, but if we have the little targets where it's like you got the circles and then you got the bullseye, if this was a topic and the topic had kind of the, the outer layer of it, and then the different rings that go into the center, every single question he asked me was dead center in the bullseye. That really is the heart of every single one of those topics. And one of his first questions was, if there was one thing you could tell if there was one thing that you could tell an agent, somebody who's thinking about getting into real estate, a skill or something that they could work on, what would that be as a new agent? And I told him, I said, that is such a fantastic question, because so many people, whatever skill set you think it is, I promise you, it's, for most people, it's not it. It is not what you think you have to work on, but it is the one thing that every single person who interviews with us and who talks with us and who meets with us about joining our company, the one thing that I don't think they realize, and it's almost an intangible, is work on yourself. Focus on yourself. Peel back the layers of that onion. And I said, because by the time you get workforce ready, even if you're even Jolie or Laney's getting her real estate license, or we've got some other young ones in this group in our company, even though you don't have a lot of those kind of, what's the right word? Aaron refers to them as the little wires in the screen, but it's just those
experiences,
those thought patterns that have been put on you by someone else. Okay. If you can truly peel those away and focus on who you are as a person, because I told him, everybody, I don't care, because the original idea that I was going to be talking about was personality styles. And it was about personality styles in the sales field and in the real estate industry, and how important is it to have that skill set. And I said, for most people, the most important skill set that they can have in any sales field, whether it's real estate, whether it's what they do, which is like financial consulting, whatever it is, the most important thing is understanding yourself and being able to truly get out there and just be who you are, because that is when you can be the most confident. That is the quickest way, because Aaron was talking about confidence whenever he came in. Whenever I hopped on this call, he was talking about confidence that I have in the real estate business. And for whatever reason, why is it that I have a level of confidence? And it's because when I walk in, he's not lying to y'all. I might walk in with this right here is this is my listing presentation right here. It might be their house plan.
It has nothing to do with their house, by the way.
It has nothing to do with their house.
She's worked on, yeah.
No. Normally it does have a little bit to do with their house. Now, again, I might have made it up on the way in. I might have jotted some stuff down on the way there, ripped it off of a notebook paper, and I've got it on the back of the bank receipt. But I walk in and I have, and maybe I'm just carrying something. Maybe I'm holding a pen. I don't know what it is, but something, I walk in and I'm just who I am. I'm not putting on any airs. I'm not putting on I just go in and let them know the good, the bad, or the ugly. I'm here. Like, I'm your person. Y'all, I had a situation that came up yesterday, and I'm going to share this with y'all. And sometimes people think, so one of the things I used to do when I first got in real estate, and when it burns you one time, when it burns you once, you will text Bailey and let him know I'm on this call. He is like one of our children. Like my
Bailey's
children will
going,
literally send me text messages on the side as I'm talking on this call.
yeah.
Want me to answer them. So, but it, when something burns you one time, that is honestly, you guys, you can view that as failure. And it can be something that comes up and bites you, and you can view it as failure, or you can view it as a learning experience. Go ahead. You were going to say something a while ago.
No, I'm because I know where you're. I hear where you're going, so I want you to think about what you're going to say a second, because I want to just I want to share this little. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but I bought you a book. It's waiting for you when you get here.
Oh, cool! Thank you. I like it.
This book's mine though, by the way, but yours is over there. I want before she takes off, because what she said something a minute ago when she was talking about the lint, and she was talking about the lint roller. She said, I don't know if you guys would even notice it, but I did. And because she noticed it, because she was concerned about it, because she was worried about it, because she had some thought about it, it was enough to stop her from doing what she should have done, which was to be on the call, okay, to alleviate the concerns that she had, that the people that were going to see her may or may not have even perceived. So the client, when you're talking to someone, they don't know if what you're saying is exactly true. They don't know if it's 12.4% or 12.25%. They don't know if it's 6.3 or 5.9. They don't know. But you're pretty close. You're close enough to know the numbers because you've been a student of the game. So if you're not exactly sure, don't let that erode your confidence, because the person on the, I'll never forget this. So when I graduated from the police academy, I was 21 years old. I was the class president of our police academy class, which meant at the end of graduation, I had to stand up and deliver a speech, okay, to the throngs of people who, and it was there's 1,800 people at a police in Nashville, Metro Nashville Police Department graduation. There are a ton of people in the crowd. I got chills thinking about this. I've never been so intimidated in my entire life to stand up in front of a room and talk. But I had to deliver the speech. And I remember my dad was a preacher, and I remember my dad saying, don't sweat what they think. You just go up there and you do what you got to do. And even if you screw up, and even if you miss a couple of words, even if you leave out a sentence or a paragraph, don't worry about it. Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling, and it's going to be okay. So that's what I'm going to tell y'all. And before you get going to this next thing, I'm going to read this, because I was just, this book is going to be so fantastic. I'm going to put some questions on the Agent Facebook page later, and I want y'all to think about this because they're in this book. But I'm going to read this real quick. We are the, sorry, y'all, I'm 50. Sorry. We are the architects of our own beliefs.
It's important to have them close.
We are the architects of our own beliefs, the decisions we make, and the results those decisions deliver. We may not always realize it, but we have a relatively significant impact on how our lives unfold. The most mentally and physically tough people I know constantly practice the fine art of building resilience, deliberately pounding away at the boundaries of their comfort zone in pursuit of their passions. Deliberately pounding away at the boundaries of their comfort zone in pursuit of their passions. Steve Morris always says, you only function to the breadth and depth of your understanding about yourself, not of other people, not of your business, not of all the things out there. You function to the breadth and depth of understanding about you.
Right.
And so, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to let you have it. I had a conversation last night, went to a Sounds game. I think I told you that early. But I wore an Exit Realty Lake Country shirt all day yesterday. And going to the Sounds game, I was like, I'm just going to change shirts. I'll put something else on. But then I decided to put on a white Exit Realty Lake Country shirt because it matched my hat. Kind of, not really. I'm a big thing about matching, and teal doesn't match red, white, and blue. And I have my Sounds hat. So another story, another day. My C personality. So I go to the Sounds game wearing a white Exit Realty Lake Country shirt. I walk up to the beer stand and get me a beer. And I see the girl looking at my logo, and she said, "Oh," she said, "You're with Exit." And I said, "You've got to be a realtor, because you would not ask me that question unless you're a realtor." And she said, "Well, yeah, I am." And I said, "Really?" Conversation starts, right? And so typically in the past, I would say, "Yep," and I'd walk away. But of course now I'm looking for opportunities. She's with Parks in Mount Juliet. She's been with Parks for a year and a half, and she's not getting what she wants. She's not getting what she needs. She's not getting the training, not getting the development. And so I had a chance to talk to her about what we talk about
Right.
this business ain't about making money. This business is about making people.
Right.
And then the money comes. So individually, jump in there and go. I mean, I know I interrupted your groove there, but go ahead.
You did kind of, but and it kind of went and now it's kind of going a different direction. I mean, it's kind of the same, but the thing is, but I'm going to rewind about 38 seconds, because what you said was you've got to, and again, to just finish my answer with Josh yesterday, was the best thing they can do, the most important thing someone can do when you're getting into a new role in sales, you've got to know who you are in order to be who you are. Okay. You just have to know that. And that's the most important thing that someone can do, because the confidence, people are drawn to confidence. Your goal is to be a trusted advisor. Okay.
Yep.
I have a deal going on in Hartwell, and it was a happenstance deal. And the guy called me, and and again, who knew whenever I started up in Hartwell in 2006, and then I came out to Madison, and I knew that I liked Lake Oconee, and then Aaron and I came together, and he loved Lake Oconee. So he was kind of that the mortar and the bricks, that I had the little bricks and he was the mortar, and he said, we're putting this together, and this is what we're doing. And this is what we're doing, y'all. And at that point, and even the conversations around expanding the footprint, having that reach, doing all this, he's probably the third person that I've talked to that has literally looked me up and has said, I see you up in Hartwell. I see you down at Lake Sinclair. I see you at Lake Oconee. And you're kind of that constant. You're the person I'm seeing selling stuff in all these places. Okay.
Even though you
and
don't.
So I do. I sell in Hartwell. I've sold at Lake Oconee. I've sold at Lake Sinclair. I mean, it really does. I mean, truly. And he says very little, but when people are looking, they are seeing, I mean, they're literally looking at what sales have you done. And when they look at it, if they're looking into an agent, you guys, and I knew that was an opportunity that we had. And so it's true. And even this whole Lake Country to the Music City thing, people, if they start looking into an agent and they see there's truly they are in both places, y'all, it's big. So anyways, so we're talking. So the guy's calling me about this little, it's an awful property down at Lake Sinclair, because he's just looking for something that fits in his price range. Same way that Bailey ended up in Hartwell. He's looking at Lake Sinclair and he's like, nothing fits my price range, what I'm looking for. And I find him a house up in Hartwell that just fell into my lap the same morning we're having the conversation. So I tell this guy about the property. He goes out and he looks at it. He falls in love with it. He puts in for contract. And so we're talking. So it ends up that he's using a VA loan. Super nice guy. He's a traveling nurse. He's going to be a hero. He's in the hero program. It's a mobile home, permanent foundation, perfectly fine. Appraiser goes out there. It's listed as a modular in the MLS. Appraiser calls me yesterday. We have an hour-long conversation. Again, this is where it's important in your business to develop those relationships and to always do what's right, and to be very careful, even when you have an opportunity to maybe do a little better for your client. You want to weigh out the odds, but at the same time, you always want to still encourage your client to do what's right and go with it when your client wants to do what's right. I mean, Alex Martin's dealing with a situation right now that's closing today. Same thing. So I get with the appraiser. Lo and behold, they're having a problem with the appraisal. It's a VA. So if you guys are familiar with Tidewater, he's invoked Tidewater. I'm on the phone with him for an hour. And as soon as I called him, he answers his phone. He's like, hey, Christy, how are you? I'm like, good. Y'all, that is a great, even to this day, when you are dealing with an appraiser and you call them and they pick up the phone, he's like, hey, Christy, what's going on? That's a great feeling, because you know what? That means they are on your side. Just that answer, the way they answer your telephone call, that means you've done something right in this business and you have a good rapport with that appraiser, which is always a plus. So we're talking, and there's a couple of little things that as an agent, this is, and I'm getting to this is where we differentiate ourselves, guys. You have the ability to not be all the way. Who's the Facebook user? Identify yourself that just said agree. Because I don't know who it was.
It's probably Anna.
You have the ability to truly differentiate yourself. And maybe it's because you walk in with a napkin or a sketched out drawing of something, going on, or maybe you've brought something different to the table it's
That's
Millie.
Millie.
You've brought something different to the table that other realtors are not bringing to the table. And let me tell you what that is. You have brought yourself. You have brought the authenticity of yourself. Okay. When I used to go into a listing appointment, and this is where I'm actually going to ask him to come to one of our meetings and do maybe a lunch and learn, and just stand up and talk to you about different things that appraisers have seen happen that aren't your everyday run of the mill, but had it been a little different, the entire appraisal would have come out differently. Okay. This person has, so for those of you that have ever done a mobile home, and some of you are newer and you haven't done mobile homes, but most of the mobile homes that you're going to do nowadays are going to be either FHA or VA. Okay. They're going to have to be FHA or VA, and they have to be on a permanent foundation. There's certain things that happen. But one little thing that a real estate agent could have done differently, which was when they retired the title and they go in, it's something you don't ever think about. They take the plates off because it's no longer a mobile home. They've removed everything from the bottom of it that makes it a mobile home. The only thing that still exists is the steel beams from where they manufactured it. Okay. There's a place in the property that you can pull the plates off of the mobile home. It's kind of like pulling the tag off your pillow. Okay. You know, the one that says do not remove by penalty of law. When I was a kid, I used to freak out if I saw somebody pull that tag off the pillow, because I thought for sure we were going to jail. Like, if someone comes in our house and checks our pillows and these tags are not on here, we are all going to jail. The whole family's going to jail. So, but you can literally take that tag off because it's no longer a vehicle. It's no longer anything that has to be registered with the DMV. It is now a permanent piece of property. Okay. Because those tags were still there, he had to appraise it as a mobile home. The only comps he could use were mobile homes, which dramatically affected the value that this property is going to come back at on an appraisal. And I know that sounds crazy. And those are the little things that a lot of agents don't think about. Okay. Those are the kinds of things that if you will pay attention to your business and you will be a student of your business and understand your craft to those details, to those levels, ask the questions, have the conversations, be an inquiring mind. And he said, so we sat there for 55 minutes. I was on the phone with this appraiser, and we're looking through comps in 4 different counties to try to find stuff. Okay. And one thing that their listing agent could have done differently, had she known it, okay, could have changed the entire outcome of this, because then the comps that he's able to use are completely different comps, because he can then use stick-built houses as comps. So those are the kinds of things when Aaron was talking about the girl from Parks that he met last night, which I think it's fantastic that, and that is just a reminder, wear your shirts everywhere. Even if it's an Exit Realty hat, wear the hat, do something to identify Exit, because people recognize that logo and they will ask you a question about it. It is a conversation starter, if nothing else. Yep. So, but just being a little different. When I used to walk into a listing appointment, and I just thought about this, you guys, and whenever I think about things, and maybe it's something because I haven't done it in so long, until something like what happened yesterday refreshes my memory of the things I used to do when I would be listing a property. I would sit down with them and I would fill out the property disclosure. I would fill out a property disclosure every time with the clients. I would go through and I would sit down and I would talk through it with them in person. Okay. At the listing appointment, even if they had not decided they were going to list yet, the property disclosure is something that I had printed out that I would walk in there with and fill it out with them. Because a lot of times they don't really understand what they're filling out, and everything's so technology sometimes takes away the ability for that direct interaction and those conversations. Okay. Which then is going to give you more insight into the property. That property disclosure might trigger things that are going to make them think about things they might not have thought to mention to you. It's just a different way of getting a little better in-depth understanding of your listing. I would get up every time we got to this question on the property disclosure. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest, it's been so long since I filled out a property disclosure, I'm not even sure if this question's still on there. So y'all fill me in if it is or it's not. The polybutylene, okay? People are like, polybutylene. I would literally get up if it was the era of house time frame which is 90s to early 2000s, that would have been built with polybutylene plumbing. I will get up and I will walk in the kitchen. I will look up underneath their cabinets, and they're like, well, that's something that nobody that I've talked to so far has done. And that's, again, Aaron walks in and starts measuring rooms and, doing things like that. When you get in and you go and look under their kitchen cabinets to help them complete this property disclosure,
Right.
just to make sure they're filling out the right information, that builds a connection with them, that they're like, this person's already working for me. And that's the whole reason Aaron does what he does when he walks in and starts measuring rooms. When he walks in, I'll walk in, y'all, and I'll rearrange somebody's living room when I go into a listing appointment, because you know what they know from that? They know you care enough about what their property is doing to take your time to put in that effort to help them out, and to just be more than, I'm just trying to get your signature on this paper.
Plus, she likes to rearrange furniture wherever she goes. So
I love
if in a restaurant or
y'all. It is
somebody's
a thing that I do.
So
Some friends of ours that live at Cuscahuilla, they've got their house. Well, they did. They took off the market now, but it was listed, and they're talking to us at the restaurant one night. I end up at their house because she asked me, "Will you just come over and look at the house and just kind of give me your thoughts?" They just did an open house today. Blah 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 blah. I walk in. Aaron comes over an hour and a half later. We've come downstairs and completely rearranged her entire basement. I'm sweating. I mean, it's like I've literally rearranged their entire basement. And she's like, oh my God, this is so much better. I love this so much more now. I mean, seriously. So I guess I say all that to say this. The show that I did yesterday was very enlightening in the sense of the questions that he asked. And those questions are questions that we should all be asking ourselves and anybody we talk to, and get to the heart. Honestly, for those of y'all that have done Ambassador and you've watched the Simon Sinek Start With Why, that is how Start With Why is you start with the biggest question. You start with your true why. You start with the heart of the matter, and then you work outward from there. Instead of working outward to the end, you work from the end out. And I just told him, I said, dude, if I could give you like all those little different targets of different topics of people in sales, you literally hit the bullseye on every single question you ask. And that's about asking the effective questions. And I would just say to you guys, get the confidence, get your lint roller out, do whatever you've got to do today to knock the lint off your shirt, or to get the dust out of your head of what is it that's holding me back. Just a little thing. Don't even think about it in business terms. Look to yourself. Look around, look at your desk, look at your phone, look at your day planner, whatever it is that is holding you back from jumping out there and doing exactly what you should be doing today to get your business moving down the court. That's what I need you guys doing. Okay. So because again, I can't tell, I'm going to show y'all some numbers. Let me show y'all what our first 6 months numbers are. I'm going to talk about this super quick, because this is really important. I just pulled it up last night just for kicks and giggles, and hopefully y'all can still see me, because I just went to, can you still see my face?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to know what our residuals are? So I saw a post. This is the wrong report. I have to log back in because this is the one I pulled last night. Our numbers for year to date are still fantastic. But I saw a post from a guy in Knoxville who we adore, Jesse. He's like one of our other real estate children who we adopted. He's a broker up there in Knoxville. He held up a check, okay, of residuals that have been paid from his office, and the residuals that people within his company have earned. It was like $178,000 or 179. Do you remember what his number was? It was somewhere up in the 170s.
I didn't see it.
Which is a fantastic number, you guys. For $170,000 to be earned in residuals in a company, it is fantastic. So I thought, out of curiosity, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to see what we've earned. I'm going to see what our company has earned in residuals.
We need a big check.
I'm going to tell you right now, we need a big check. And I was blown away.
And I haven't seen, by the way, I haven't seen this number yet. We haven't talked, so I don't know what this number is.
I was blown away at this number. Just take a guess. If you could take a guess what it is. Anybody.
Who's here? Y'all wake up and type your guesses in the comment box.
Yeah, there's only 5 of y'all left, so it should be pretty easy. Aaron's probably one of them, so there's really probably only 4 of y'all left.
Probably 3, because you're on here too.
Oh, but I'm not watching the show. Anybody have a guess? I will send you. Hey, Connie.
Hey,
I will
Connie.
send it to you. It's called Never Broke Again, and it's on
Look,
Spotify.
Connie, you got to tell us you're here. That's the rule. You got to, if you're here,
Right?
you got to
You
tell us
can't
you're
just
here.
sneak up on us
You
like
can't
that.
just
She's
sneak
even
up and
got her
jump in. It
name in
scares.
here.
I jumped. She scared me.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What if we said something bad? She's a newbie. We got to behave.
Over a million?
Lynn, you are so close. You are so close. And I'm
Shut
gonna tell you right now,
up.
when we hit that $1 million mark, we are throwing a big, y'all think we've thrown a party up to this point? Wait, we're probably another year away from it. Honestly,
Good morning,
Brenda. Connie said, I've been here. So look, I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Now, what time frame is this? From the beginning, from the inception of time, from the
From the
beginning
inception of our company, but keep in mind, for the first 12 years, there was like one person earning residuals.
Okay, go ahead.
So that number was, that first 12 years was extremely insignificant. Okay. $797,000.
Heck yeah.
And honestly, there's some pending deals that have already closed that I haven't finalized the deal because I have to go through and make sure everything's just right. $797,000 we have paid out in single level residuals just in our company, just within Exit Realty Lake Country. Y'all, when we hit the 1 million mark I promise y'all, we'll hit it next year. We'll hit it next year. There's no question in my mind we'll hit it next year. Between this year, we will hit that mark guaranteed by 2025. Guaranteed by 2025. Y'all, $797,000. It's $797,417.84 is what we have paid out in single level residuals in this company. And I promise you right now, we're probably over 800,000 because again, there's some pending commissions in there that have not closed out and fallen into that closed portion of it because there's just still some pending deals I'm finalizing out. Y'all, that is freaking huge. Huge.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Who would not want part of that? Who would not want to be part of? Did you guys look at the rankings I sent out last week? If y'all didn't get the newsletter, please make sure you guys let me know if you're not signed up for getting that newsletter from Stacey Strobel, because that monthly newsletter that comes out from our region, that is a showcase of what you guys are doing. Okay. I promise you, I looked at that and was thinking to myself, holy cow. And the conversation I had last night, trying to put our finger on when did this momentum start happening? When did this ball start rolling? Okay. And she said, it started happening in October, like when we were all in Florida. No, it didn't. I'll tell you when it started. It started last May when we were in Savannah. And for those of you that were not here, Lindsay, I don't think I get that. When you were
newsletter.
not here, oh, the newsletter. Okay, I will make sure you guys are. I'm going to forward it out to everybody so you guys see it. When you guys, for those of you that were not here, the value of plugging in, and Melissa Parks said it earlier this week, or maybe it was last week on a call, when she said, Christy all but forced me. Melissa was looking for every single way out of going to Savannah. She was looking for every excuse possible. And honestly, Melissa Parks lives closer to Savannah than any of us do, than anybody else in the entire company. She lives the closest. And she was looking for every single excuse she could use to get out. And I said to her, this is my guarantee to you. If you get there and I almost gave her the money back guarantee, and you don't get any value out of this, I promise you, I will reimburse you for every single penny you've spent, gas, hotel, food, everything you've spent, plus $100. If you get there and you do not believe it was valuable. Before she left, might have been after she got home, she called me literally in tears saying, you don't understand what this meant to me. Like, from this place, I truly changed my entire mindset about my real estate business. And from that point forward, Melissa Parks has blown it out of the water. I mean, completely different viewpoint of her business, completely different approach to it. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you, I know y'all are feeling the icky feel right now. Everybody's feeling it. There's something out there that is just, it's feeling icky for a lot of people. They're just not feeling the drive. They're just not feeling the momentum for whatever it is. And I'm not sure what it is, but we're going to get pushed through that. Y'all, Coach Burt has been texting Aaron and I don't know if you've shared this with them, every single day, wanting to help get you guys plugged back in and re-engaged. He knows how special this company is. Okay. He knows how special the people in our company are. And he's like, I just want to help get them re-engaged, because even he can feel it. Okay. And when there's a connection like that to our company, that is huge, y'all. So
let me
he's
jump in here and
actually
say something. Let me jump in here and say
okay.
something because I want to table icky feeling, right? And I want to maybe introduce this, that maybe this is the reason. For some, I think a lot of times we get so busy. We get so busy doing other things. We get so busy doing summer. We get so busy running and gunning and doing this and that and the other thing that we forget to take the time to do the things that truly matter.
Right.
We don't do the thing. We don't have our quiet time. We're not reading books. We're not journaling. We're not doing our affirmations because we get so busy out here doing all these activities. We
Right.
don't take the time to do the essential piece that means the most to us. And so then when that carries, it's like, I promise you, I am some days very, very busy and too busy to go to the gym, right? I'm too busy to go work out. I don't have time to go work out. But me not working out over the last 2 or 3 years makes me feel icky. It makes me feel bad. It hurts me on the inside because I know what I used to be and how I felt before. So this icky feeling, and I want to table it. I don't want to keep putting that out there, but I do think there's some disconnect. And I think we have gotten so busy doing other stuff that we've lost the connection to ourselves, our connection to God, our connection to who we're supposed to be. We've lost that. That gets put to the side in chasing the busyness and trying to keep the plates spinning, trying to keep all this other stuff going on. So I want to encourage you. And I think Carrie, you took a step yesterday, y'all. You function to the breadth and depth of understanding about yourself, and that's the whole deal. Nothing happens without you being at the center of it, and I think that's the key to this today, baby. Because you said it when you walk in the room. You, Christy, is the one that's the confident piece. You're the hub and the wheel that connects everything that's going on. It's the same thing for all of y'all.
Yep.
And when you're not taking the time to do the things you need to be doing because you're chasing plate spinning, at the end of the day, you're going to look back and you're going to go, "Oh my God, I feel disconnected. I feel
You
like
don't
I'm
feel
lost.
accomplished. You don't feel
I
like
feel
you're
like
being
I'm going
productive.
backwards.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going backwards. I feel like I'm in reverse. I feel like I'm doing all the things that you feel because you're not connected to self. You're not connected to God. You're not connected to your source. You're not doing the things you should be doing to take care of yourself."
Right. Well, and the other piece of it is too, and this is something that was so important. And again, if we talk about Savannah, we talk about Orlando, we talk about Brasstown, we talk about those things. Those were about once a quarter. It was May, it was October, it was February. Every 3 to 4 months, something that we've been really, really good at doing is having something where you guys could get away, unplug, because sometimes you got to unplug to replug. Okay. Logan uses the word in order to detox, you got to retox. That's not what I'm referring to here, even though sometimes that's necessary as well. For some of us, just to be able to let your hair down a little bit. So I think that the big thing with Savannah and Savannah, the sponsoring training we did last year in Savannah, and then we did the Orlando, the Southeast Rally, and then we've got Brasstown that happened. And if you guys are in for it, y'all, we're in for it. Okay. I'm telling you right now, we are. Millie, if you guys are up for it, Coach Burt has already called and said,
He's
what
already
can we
said,
do?
yeah.
He's begging us to get you guys in to do something. Okay. What can we do to get you guys re-engaged? What is it that we need to do? And it needs to be an overnight. It needs to be let you guys get away. Y'all, if y'all look back at that video from Brasstown and the night that we were down in the whatever that little sports bar is called, where they did the video, and it's just everybody was just laughing and talking.
We had the whole place
and plugged in. We had the entire place, you guys, and it was just time for everyone to just sit around and enjoy each other, be around and just let your batteries recharge. Because I think right now we are running and gunning so much that our batteries are just getting low. And there is something about being able to just get away, unplug, and recharge that will truly skyrocket your business. I promise you that. I promise you it will. So we've got some things that we're looking at. We're going to send some stuff out, just some different ideas. But the most important thing is it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be something major. It just needs to be somewhere that we can all get away and get together and just plug back in. Just unplug from the grind and plug into one another. Reestablish what we love about with each other about this company, and keep moving forward for the second half of the year. Y'all, I put those numbers out last week. I put those production numbers on our Facebook page to show, and there were some names, to be honest, I was really surprised to not see on there. I mean, I'm just going to tell you that. And that was just 1 month. And that doesn't mean you're not doing anything. It just means that there are some names that I didn't see on there that honestly normally would be on there in our company. And I'm like, okay, it's time to re-engage. Okay. Because it's not that these people, so the 6-month numbers are coming out. Y'all, our 6 months, the first half of the year closes out. Today's the 29th, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the last day of the first half of 2022. We are ready to plug in and blow the second half of 2022 away. And I told y'all this. I told somebody this last night. When I was in my personal real estate business, the second half of the year was always, for whatever reason, stronger for me. Maybe it's because I would kind of coast a little bit, and I had to learn, which is why I can give you guys the advice of what happens at the end of the year and the holidays when you take a little bit of time off, because your first quarter completely suffers from it. Okay. And people think, well, the end of the year, nobody's really wanting to do anything. But ironically enough, my second half of the year was always better than my first half. Sometimes it would take, I rarely made less than 400, 350, 400, 450 gross commission a year. Okay. When I was in my own personal business, I would make the lion's share of that. 75% of that I made between June and December, probably between July 1st and December. Okay. The lion's share of my production was always from July 1st to the end of the year. And it was crazy because the spring is normally the better market. Right. But a lot of times it was rare. There was a few years that I capped prior to the end of the first quarter, but most years I was capping somewhere around June. Somewhere around June was when I would cap. And then I would just blow it out the rest of the year. And it was crazy how I did that, because you would think that I would have done more in the beginning of the year, but it's just how the ball would bounce. So many of you guys have already capped, and you guys are doing things that I didn't even do when I was out there personally selling. And I'm just going to tell y'all, I was, not to toot my own horn, I could probably confidently say I was what I would have, if I'm looking at the real estate industry, I would have looked at myself if I was on outside looking in and said, she's a badass in the real estate industry, right along with a lot of other people who I really truly consider badasses in this industry, in a good way, doing it the right way. Because there's a lot of them that do a lot of production, but they don't do it the right way. Doing it the right way, really working hard, really doing right by their clients, doing this. So that's what we have built this company of. Every single one of you guys in this company, because I promise you, if you're in this company and you're on this call as an agent of Exit Realty Lake Country, I promise you, you're doing it the right way or you wouldn't be here.
Yep.
I can assure you of that.
Yep.
So keep getting out there doing it. Lynn Grizzle, I mean to tell you right now, I cannot wait, because Lynn, in spite, again, myself included, I know, in spite of some things that have been going on in our personal lives and all of our personal lives, still out there killing it, because sometimes our work is what gives us the ability to focus on something else positive other than some of the crap we're dealing with in our personal lives. Okay. Yeah. We've all got it. We've all been dealing with it. And I'm telling you right now, when you can finally take, how many of y'all have one of those weighted blankets that's like the heavy, it's like they call it a storm blanket or a snuggle blanket, where literally the blanket itself is like 30 pounds and you lay it on you and it's supposed to help people with anxiety or whatever. Sometimes we feel like, and I'm the same way, we feel like we have the weight of one of those weighted blankets wrapped around us. And if we could just shed it and throw it off and walk away from it, let it lay on the floor and let it be whatever it's going to be, we could get out there and do, there's no telling what we can do. And we're doing a lot of this stuff in spite of what we allow to hold us back, and what we're wearing, and what the lint on our shirt or the weighted blanket or whatever it is. And when we shed that and we move forward, there's no telling what we can do. So if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep it. That's true, man. I don't care what it is. Lainey sent me a message this morning. She sent me a message, and my daughter, God, she's so pretty. Lord have mercy, she is pretty. Sometimes though, she is an absolute dingbat. I'm gonna show y'all this. This is what I woke up to this morning. And I had, when you wake up to a text messages that gets you like in a belly laugh, you know it's gonna be a good day. This is what I woke up to this morning. She says, "Oh my God, I think I've made a mistake." And I'm like, so this is the picture. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Y'all see that time on there? What that is a picture from where she's moving to her job. Okay. It says 4 hours and 5 minutes, 4 hours and 14 minutes, 4 hours and 13 minutes.
Where the heck
Okay.
is she moving?
And I look at it.
Alabama?
She's moving to Vining, Smyrna. That the little house up top is right there by SunTrust Park, by Truist Park. So I respond to her. She's like, "Oh my God, Mom, I have made a big mistake. Oh my God, what am I going to do?" Okay. I said, "What are you doing? Crawling?" I mean, seriously, it doesn't take you, because it's 11 miles, 4 hours and 5 minutes. I said, "What are you doing? Crawling?" And her response is, "Oh, oops, that's if I walked." And she was dead serious, y'all. And she said, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have made a huge mistake." And this was my response to her. I said, "You're so pretty." So, I mean, y'all, bless her heart, but it's just, I don't know what that was about, but sometimes there's things in our own lives that let us hold us back, and sometimes it's just being a dingbat.
So
sometimes our ding battery holds us back.
so listen, I'm gonna put this back up here because I want you to take these words, and I want you to live by these words today. Okay? Perfection is the enemy of progress. And so many of us want to be perfect before we do anything, before we take a step. We want to have all the pieces in place. And y'all have heard this preached. You've heard people say it. God doesn't give you something with everything you need to go get it done. He gives you a vision. He gives you a yearning. He gives you a longing in your chest and your heart and your spirit, your soul. He didn't give Noah a boat. He didn't give him a boat. He gave him a word. It said,
right.
"It's going to flood, build a boat." He didn't give Moses the 10 Commandments. He gave him a burning bush and said, "Go do this." He doesn't give you all the tools you need to get the job done. He gives you the desire to do the job. So here's what I'm going to say to you today. Perfection is the enemy of progress. I don't care if it takes you 4 hours. Guess what? It takes you 4 hours, but you're still going to get there.
That's right.
You can get in your car and drive there in 15 minutes, or you can walk in 4 hours. The point is you're going to get there.
That's right.
And that's the point I want. That's really I'm glad you put that up there. I don't care how you get there. I don't care if it's fast or if it's slow, if you can fly or if you can walk. I don't care. Just get there.
Yep.
Just get there. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Do something today that's in a forward momentum. Coach Bird talks about this, in a forward posture, in a forward momentum, moving towards your goal. Do something today in that direction.
Yep. So
Okay?
true. I don't care if it takes you 4 hours, because guess what? Guess what the good news is? The good news is, if something happens, Lainey now knows that it's only going to take her 4 hours to walk home. And
if she runs out of gas,
happens,
she can still get there.
She can still get there in 4 hours.
Yep.
So, I mean, y'all, this is, and Lynn, I don't know if y'all can't, maybe y'all can see what Lynn just said. She said, "I love y'all. You guys are always a source of encouragement and always good for a laugh too." And that's true, y'all. Sometimes we just have to laugh through it. We literally have to just laugh through it sometimes. And that's what we're here for each other, is just to do that. So I love y'all. You guys have a good day. Today's
Love
Wednesday.
y'all.
We will see y'all in a week. And oh, by the way, today is Ivan Jones's birthday. So y'all get out there and wish Ivan a big, and it's also DJ Jones's birthday. It's so funny because they joined our company on the exact same day. And when I was entering them in that same day, they had the same birthday. And I'm like, what are the odds that two people with the last name of Jones join our company on the same day and have the same birthday? Is that not hilarious?
And if
Go ahead.
anybody wants, anybody wants to drive to Mount Juliet tonight and come to our meeting tomorrow, we're having a sales meeting tomorrow at 10:30 in Mount Juliet. So if anybody wants to you got nothing better to do, and you want to drive to Tennessee to be in a sales meeting to meet some folks in Tennessee, come on.
Oh, by the way, I'm also driving there this afternoon. So, in case you want to come, there's actually a shuttle heading that direction.
You can ride with Christy.
You can ride with me. So I love y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Love
Be good.
y'all. Be great.
Be you.
Be you.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.